Hello, my name is Fenna. Welcome to Following Fenna. I am a certified coach and counselor, and I work with people in a limerence episode and also with their partner. Now, obsessing over an ex. If a relationship ends, it's normal to feel bad for a while and think about them a lot and feel sad and stay under the covers. And then we start to feel better after a few weeks and then we move on. Now, what I'm talking about is when we don't get over this in a few weeks. If we obsess and we long and we get stuck in the what ifs and the rumination, and we know and we feel like we will never get over this. I'm talking about obsession to a point that we get exhausted. And in this video, I will explain why we get stuck and what to do about it. Of course, every human being on this planet is wired to connect with other humans. We're a social creature, especially with attachment figures. We depend on them. Now, if you have attachment wounds or attachment problems, your system easily mistakes people we are attached to as very important attachment figures, even if they are not, even if they are just an ex, and even if the relationship or the person wasn't all that. I mean, I hear clients state that their ex was a flat-out narcissist and they still long for them and they still long for them to come back. I mean, that doesn't really make sense, right? So there is something going on here that has little to do with our conscious mind. If your nervous system thinks this is an essential, important attachment figure who could or should have provided you with love and connection, even if they didn't, your nervous system will give you so much stress and longing for them because it wants you to go seek for them and reconnect. Especially if this could have been a do-over when we as kids were deprived from love and warmth and connection. Again, even though you know better, even though if you look at the evidence, you know that this is not the right person for you, when your system thinks this is the only source for you right now to have love and connection, it will make you obsess and anxious in order to go look for them. Now, like I said, we all know heartbreak and being really occupied for a while. But some of us just don't move on after a month or after a few months. Our mind will not leave us alone, throwing a tantrum in our head, forcing us to think about this person 24/7, very involuntary by the way. It's the first thing we think about in the morning, and it's the last thing that we think about when we fall asleep. And if we're really lucky, we have painful, vivid dreams about them. Now, why is that? Why some of us cannot help obsess when we don't want to obsess? Why do we do that? Now, everyone who watches my videos knows that I'm a fan of grieving. And it's actually unhealthy to stop a grief process. It's normal to do, and it's normal to bargain in grief, especially in the early stages of grief. But grieving, when you have an attachment wound, is grieving on a whole different level. We still need to grieve though, and we still need time and space between us and our ex in order for our brain to process and change and to forget about this person. Well, not forget, but disconnect. And unfortunately, there is no off switch in the thinking. And every video that claims it knows how to stop, they know how to stop obsessing, are wrong, but you can make it more bearable. If you are in a situation where you cannot stop to obsess about your ex, there are some things you can do to make things more bearable. And the first one is we separate the longing from the person. The person is an object, or we can call it a gateway to love and connection. So that's probably something that you really crave, love and connection. And your system doesn't really care who it comes from. So it can just use the narcissistic, non-fitting, non-compatible ex because you were attached and this was the last person you were attached to. You can try to say, okay, I'm thinking Pete all day. That means I'm longing for love and connection. And the tool I love to use is to use the sentence, I observe what I think. I observe that I think that I'll never find love again. And that I'll never find love again if Pete is not in my life. I observe that I think that I need Pete to be happy. We separate our thoughts from the facts. It's called cognitive diffusion. Creating space in your thoughts, because the fact is, we think a lot of BS all day, especially when we're sad and grieving over an ex. We have the wildest biases. Number 2, what you can do is when you catch yourself going in the maze, down the rabbit hole in your mind, try to solve a puzzle. It goes a little bit like this. Okay, what did Pete say last time I texted him? And maybe he misinterpreted that. Maybe Pete is really sad, but then again, I might think that because, I'm a limerent and this is not healthy. What should I do again? Should I contact him or not? Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I embarrass myself. But what if I just stay out of contact, but Pete contact me? Can I then this puzzle, the puzzle where the answer will always be, I don't know what I could have done or think how things could have been different. But the fact is, we're no longer together. When you argue with your thoughts, you stop it because what gets your attention grows. And sometimes the fastest way to stop something is to take away the energy we give it. You can say, okay, I'll ruminate and obsess about this later today, but for now, I'm just going to do something else. You say stop and you distract yourself. Number 3, triggers are tricks of your brain, putting the person still in the place where they are no longer, when they are not there any longer. And you can't avoid all triggers. You cannot control all triggers. I was even reminded of someone when I saw the color green. Good luck with that. But don't feed the obsession. No online stalking, no online luring. Your brain needs time apart from this person, also online. Number 4, accept that you don't know and never will know all the answers, and you cannot control this. And that sucks, and you feel a lot of pain. Stating that you feel horrible is an act of self-compassion. It's also true, and it's also honest. Number 5, know that you need a lot of time to get over this, especially when you have attachment wounds. It may take a while. It may take months or years. There is no right or wrong. Your system decides when it's done grieving. You have little to say about that. Your system knows better than you what it needs to detach and how long it's going to take. And 6, please accept that there is no off switch and this person is going to be in your head for a while, and that's okay. Well, it's not really okay, but it is what it is. And I hope that you're going to be really freaking kind to yourself, because obsessing means you have a freaked out nervous system who is triggered, and being triggered like that takes a whole lot of energy. Number 7, accept that some days you don't know how to accept and you just want to lay on the couch with a blanket because you are exhausted. And I once heard a grief specialist say, always search for the acceptance, even when it's within, I accept that I don't accept today that we are no longer together. There's an acceptance there. Number 8, maybe you also want to accept while you're at it that you will feel better, because that's how we're wired. We get over things and people, and you will not be sad forever, even though you think that this, is going to stay forever. This is an opportunity to build up and strengthen your identity, and not that there's something wrong with your identity, but normally we learn and we grow from a crisis. Even if we don't want to learn and grow, you will still learn and grow. So in any case, this is an opportunity to see what is important to you, and I hope you use that for knowledge in the future. If you have anything to say about this video, please leave a comment. If you want my help, my email address is in the description below. I thank you very much for watching me, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye!